Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and this is our Sports Ticker. Earlier today, Nebraska offensive tackle Bryce Benhart was named to the 2024 Outland Trophy Award watch list. Benhart is on the watch list for the first time in his career after earning all Big Ten honors from both the coaches and media last season. Plenty of Olympics news and notes for today. Let's start with news concerning former Huskers. Husker track and field star Hill Steinforth will compete for Germany in the decathlon starting on August 2nd. Steinforth was originally an alternate. Jack McVeigh turned in a solid performance in Australia's 93-83 loss to Canada today. McVeigh had 9 points on 3 of 6 shooting, including 3 for 5 from three-point range in just under 15 minutes. The U.S. men's soccer team defeated Guinea 3-0. They advanced to the quarterfinals for the first time since 2000 and will take on Morocco on Friday. In women's gymnastics, the USA won gold as a team. The individual events will take place on Thursday, where Simone Biles and Suni Lee will take part in the all-around. And to close it out, the U.S. women's rugby team earned a bronze medal today after defeating Australia 14-12. It's the first medal ever for the U.S. in women's rugby. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Heinrich gonna step in back, little G belly action. As a man wide open, it's Jalen Lloyd. The throw, he makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Nebraska serving specialist Kennedy sends it over Vasquez Gomez. Perfect pass, set it up. Fairbanks diving, take Laney Choboy. Bumps it left Nebraska. Harper and nearly drops. Free ball back. Oh, a block back by Becca, and that nearly drops. And a free ball finally over block back by Becca, and it does. Becca Alec, she's putting on a blocking clinic. They can't get it over.
Wright, Williams puts his head down, cut off by good defense by Mbako. Now up top it comes to Mast. Mast dribbles once, gives it back to Williams, shoots a 3 on the way. Got it again! Another 3. Williams on fire.
Yeah, Shelley, who has electrified this crowd. She'll take a 28-footer. You betcha! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She ends the first quarter in triple style.
Ball's out of strike here on Gabe Swanson, the pitch. Hit pretty well towards left center field. Going back on it is Graves. Graves at the wall, and it's gone again! Swanson's gone deep again! Gabe with his second solo shot of the game.
Billy swings and crushes this one to the moon. Left center and gone. No doubt on that one. 3-1 Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Ready or not, football season is here as the Huskers have checked into the dorms, getting ready for practice number 1, which will be tomorrow morning. We had a big media day today with the head coach, the coordinators, and a handful of players being made available to the media today, and it just felt like here we go. You kind of could really tell. But before we jump into that, Jessica, we need to talk about the duck in the room.
Nice.
What was the Oregon Duck doing on campus today?
So what I was told was that they are officially members of the Big Ten coming up on Friday, and he was making the rounds. And so I don't know if he's making stops at what other schools in the Big Ten along the way, but Nebraska was one of them. So that created quite the stir today. What was the Duck doing? The Duck, Oregon has made a full speed ahead push towards their marketing efforts over the last couple weeks with the massive blow-up duck that was floating in the river before Big Ten Media Days. Now the Duck going on apparently a Big Ten tour before officially becoming a member. So they're doing all the things.
Had people chatting, didn't they? I mean, everybody, a lot of those media people were tweeting about it. I mean, they got some nice publicity about it. It was surprising to turn the corner, walk into the media room, and I'm like, what in the world? Where am I? I'm thinking I'm in the wrong room. I'm in the wrong town even.
You texted me, you were like, the Duck is here. Why is the Duck here? I was like,
yeah.
What? Like, that's not things you plan on hearing on a day-to-day basis, on an everyday basis.
Oh.
We don't even play them this year.
I admire them, though. I mean, hey, nice little effort. That's kind of a cool little deal, and they're getting some positive pub out of the whole thing. But how did you feel today? Did it kind of feel like we're ready to go with the season?
It really does. You know, a lot of the guys alluding to how they went to work with Corey Campbell and his strength staff. A lot of them talking about the weight that they put on, but also maintaining the speed, because it can be one thing just to, hey, let's bulk up, but maintaining, you know, the speed and, you know, the things that some of these guys do well, you know, it's a balance. And so I think a lot of them really giving a lot of props to Corey Campbell and the strength staff, and how good they feel going into the start of this fall camp, I think was a big message that I heard today. You know, Greg, I was sitting there thinking about, they had different rounds of players that came in, and they had, I think, 4 different rounds. And I'm doing these interviews and I'm thinking, gosh, I don't need a lot of these just because we're going to have another opportunity on Friday. But this, I feel like, is the most maybe big name talent of guys, just the big names that were sitting there, that they were putting up their cards of sitting at their different media tables, just looking at the different tables. The first set of guys are Jamari Butler and Nash Hupmaker and Bryce Benhart and Teddy Prohaska. And then the next one was Thomas Fidone and Jamal Banks. And then it was Tommy Hill. And it just was pretty. I think it struck me today how many big name guys are coming back that we've been familiar with, that we really are expecting big things, but also could be some really, really great players, not just for Nebraska, but in this league and really in college football.
And I think that's a big reason for the optimism. There are so many veteran guys, particularly along the line of scrimmages, which is where you better be good in the Big Ten if you're going to win. And you just rattle off a couple of them there with Teddy and Bryce on the offensive side of the football, and then on the defensive side, Ty and Nash and Jamari. So that's what I think gives people optimism. That with the schedule, and that with, a lot of hope pinned on the right arm of a freshman quarterback, is why people are pretty fired up for all this. But today, in essence, today was a media day for Nebraska football. We won't hear from anybody again until Friday, so they'll have 3 practices in the books by the time we talk to even another coach on Friday. So today was fun. It got the fever going for me. I felt like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
The football account just about 15, 20 minutes ago tweeted out some pictures of the guys checking into the dorms. What kind of reaction did you get from the players about heading back into the dorms here for year 2? So
I meant to ask Bryce Benhart about it in my interview with him. I totally forgot, because he'd be one of the guys like, how do you manage? No, I asked Teddy about it, Teddy Prohaska, and he said that the way that the dorms are, there's a little bit of a space, I guess maybe like a shelving area. Camden might know better, that's at the end where your head normally goes, but he flips it around so that he has extra room for his feet. And
Smart.
So he sleeps with his head where his feet normally go, so that there's a little extra room at the end. But he said a lot of times he just has to sleep on his side. So, hey, you make do, you figure it out. But, I think I was just chatting with a few of them. Some of them I asked in the interview, some of them I didn't, but just, in conversation. And they all went back to how good it was for this team a year ago. While it's not glamorous and it's not necessarily accommodations that you love, and you love sleeping in your own bed, especially when you're tired and you're going through stuff like this, but they all talked about how good it was for this team and how it brought guys together and some of the things that they were able to do while living in the dorms together. So I think maybe a little bit of, it's the dorms, but also knowing that it was a positive last year. And so I think they can approach it that way, knowing that they did get a lot of out of it a year ago.
Yeah, I think it's putting a team together where they have to bond. Everybody's doing the same thing, and the coaches are doing the same thing. And I think that's what makes everybody pretty happy to be a part of this. And you're right. You get to it at the end, and then you reflect back on it in the coming weeks. You go, God, I remember that one night, it was so hot outside, we couldn't get comfortable, or we played cards until 12:30 in the morning, or so-and-so did this, or somebody pulled off a prank. They'll reminisce about that for the coming months. And I think those are the ultimate team bonding experience, is to put them in the same quarters with each other. And then they walk across campus every morning to go to practice. So, they take their car keys away from them. They can't go find their car somewhere on campus. And head off and go for a late night ice cream run somewhere. So they're really with each other for the next couple of weeks. And I think last year, even though there might have been some grumbling, they realized that it was a pretty good time for them. Well, the biggest bit of news that came out of today, and we're going to hear cuts from Matt Rule and defensive or special teams coordinator Ed Foley coming up, is Tristan Alvano has had an issue with his groin, had a little surgical procedure. He's not going to be a part of the 120 to start practice tomorrow. He's rehabbing. They think they're going to get him back in a couple of weeks. But that's pretty major news that came out today. They don't think he's going to miss any games. They said they're glad that he experienced the issue with the groin when he did, which is early summer, so that they could get it corrected. I think Ed Foley made the comment, well, again, we'll hear that later this hour, that better then than now. If he came to me now, he goes, we would have an issue with our kicker to start the season, but that's not ideal way to start, and anything in the groin, hamstring for kickers,
yeah,
boy, you better be sure you get that healed up before you put them back on the field.
Yeah, and here's an opportunity now to get other guys ready, and then you hopefully only makes for a positive when you get Tristan back. And it was good timing in the part that they can bring him along, and Coach Rule had talked about being cautious with him and not trying to push it. And so you got some other guys that you can work with and really push to also get better and be able to be reliable and call, if your number's called upon at any given time, you feel comfortable, because they've had a lot of really good reps in fall camp that maybe they might not have otherwise gotten as many of, because Tristan would have been the guy. But yeah, I think, Coach Rule said, hey, we know what Tristan can do, and so we're not going to push it and be patient with it. So I actually the other day was walking in, and I think they were working out there, and I saw Tristan. So I know that he's coming along, and it sounds like the process is going well. So hopefully, again, no setbacks, and he'll be ready to go. But yeah, like you said, that could be a really lingering issue, and so you want to get it right, and so that it's not a problem come season and then lingers throughout an entire season, because you want to be able to call on that guy. You're going to need him, and Coach Rule said that there's a lot of the games come down to field goals, so you got to be able to have a guy that you can rely on. And I go back to the spring, and when I chatted with Tristan, and I was really impressed with how he took a lot of the takeaways that he took away from his freshman season, and the things that he wanted to work on and get better at, and how he wanted to approach the spring, and felt like, because he wasn't in spring last year, and so felt like he made a lot of strides. And so unfortunately a setback here, but I think he did make a lot of progress that he felt good about, that he can hopefully go back and rely on when he gets back on the field healthy again.
So that was maybe the biggest bit of news. They did not release the 120, because you're by the current NCAA rules, you're only allowed to have 120 players at the first couple of practices until school starts, which isn't until the last week of August. Then you can bring everybody else from the team on. But Matt Rule did say we have some scholarship guys that aren't part of the 120, and their spots being taken up by walk-ons. So he was kind of proud to say that. Matt Rule, a former walk-on himself. All right, we're going to hear from the head coach, some clips from today, hear from all three coordinators, and Jessica had a chance to catch up with Javin Wright, who I think really started to blossom last year as a star on this defense. His size, his length makes him a really interesting football player for Tony White and his defensive staff to use. So we'll hear from Javin coming up in hour number 2. And as always, we want you to be a part of the program as well, 402-413-2400, either with a call or a text. Husker fans, go check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Hy-Vee is the official grocer partner of Husker Athletics and your one-stop shop for making your life easier, healthier, and happier. Go visit your local Hy-Vee today. We're back to hear some clips from the head coach, Matt Rule. We'll do that next.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Woodhouse Cadillac, where luxury meets performance. Discover the latest Cadillac models designed with cutting-edge technology and unbelievable design. Thanks to our streamlined buying process, you can start right now and explore financing options, view our large inventory, and even schedule a test drive, all from home. Come visit Woodhouse Cadillac in-store or online at woodhousecadillac.com and check out all of our current offers going on now.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sap Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sap Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sap Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs. They're the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you on the eve of the start of football camp. Huskers will have practice number 1 tomorrow morning. Today was, in essence, media day with a lot of availability, including the head coach, who did have an opening statement to talk about some status of some guys as the camp is set to open.
Obviously excited to get started. A couple updates. Obviously it's a 120-man roster for camp. As people get hurt, you still have the ability to rotate people in. So that's not a 120-man roster limit. We still have the whole team, but 120-man roster to start camp. Injuries to start camp, okay. Tristan Alvano is limited, so he'll be out at the start of camp. Bly Hill, Barrett Liebentritt, Maurice Mazuka, Brody Tagaloa, and Michael Booker. So those guys will not be in that 120. And they will wait till they're healthy, and then if someone else gets hurt, they'll then replace that, as well as some of the other guys we've had on our team who've worked their tails off. Just, we have to do a lot of things by number, so a lot of deserving guys aren't able to be in the 120, but they will be, and they'll all be there for the start of when school starts. We're moving in the dorms today, so I'm very fired up to be with these guys as we start this training camp. What I will say is just I hope that people have the opportunity to come on Saturday night and come to practice. I certainly understand that being charged to come to a practice, spending $25 is different, and it's new. I think the one thing we've tried to do is not charge for anything that used to be free, right? We're not charging for fan days. We're not doing that. And I think if you look at our track record between camps and clinics and all these things, we've tried to be as available, and we'll continue to do that. But moving forward in this new model, we have to find ways, to raise revenue and to support 1890. They've gone above and beyond, and this is a great way to do that and support our roster, support our student athletes. And just so everybody knows, every player's parent, Julie is planning on coming. My wife Julie's coming Saturday night. She's paying $25. It's a fundraiser. And so if you can't come, we certainly understand. It will be a good practice. I want people to see the way that we practice, and at the end, we'll have some fun. We'll make it a fun, interactive, well, maybe not interactive, but a fun deal. So with that, I'll answer your guys' questions.
It's awesome he seems so excited about Saturday, Greg.
Well, I think, he sees it as an opportunity to, peel the curtain back for people that want to come in. And he understands $25 in this economy is not cheap for anybody, but it's also, like he said, a new era of college football. And I think the players will enjoy having some eyes on them. It'll probably pick their spirits up a little bit. I can't wait to see what he kind of has planned for the end of practice, because he'll come up with something creative for people to have a good time with that. But it's too bad those guys are hurt, not able to start camp. I think we knew about that Bly probably would be limited to start. Did not know about Mazuka. Obviously didn't know until today about Tristan. But let's stay with the kicker part of it. What about who will be getting the reps at kicking and place kicking and kicking off in Tristan's absence? Here's the coach.
Between Hull, we have Otto Manelli in camp, so we have Nico in camp. We have Hull in camp. Alvaro, once he's healthy, he'll battle for that job. So I think the thing that we realized, or Ed did a great job of, is the way the season's going to go. A lot of games are going to come down to the kicking game, right? So with Tristan, we know what we have in Tristan. So better not to rush it. Get him healthy. Don't push it. Nico was a high priority player for us in the recruiting process. And then Holes, obviously, we had a chance to coach his older brother, Jacob, who's a fantastic young man, and John has a ton of talent, big leg. Again, taking care of the summer camp opportunities. We were able to have him come in. So he was a scholarship player at another place, and we got him. So they'll all compete for it, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so going back to what I had said there in that first segment, but giving these other guys a chance to get some opportunities, maybe, would have been limited a little bit more with Tristan out there, but getting some other guys ready and competing and being in the line of fire and in camps, and they put them in some, high pressure situations, and who knows, it could be really windy a couple of days. So just getting a feel for it. And then, then you have lots of options there. It never hurts to have depth at any position on a football team. So you can be patient with Tristan and get him back and really let him get fully healthy before you run him out there, because otherwise it could be a lingering issue. And I think they are approaching it and wanting to make sure that he is 1,000% good to go, so it's not that kind of lingering issue throughout a season.
Well, and let's be honest, Tristan wasn't perfect last year. I think he was just a little over 50% makes. You got to be better than that. And here's an opportunity for Nico and Hull and some of those other guys to maybe show the coaches in the next week to 10 days, I'm up to the task. I want to challenge him to be the starting kicker. So, not that I'm wishing any bad ill on Tristan, but he's got to be better than he was last year. He missed some kicks that might have made the difference for Nebraska. And like Coach said, so many of these games come down to a make or a miss of a field goal late in games. So I think we can take this as a negative or look at it as a positive, that somebody else may go out there and really push to win the job. I think that's good.
Yeah, and I think, going back to also having the conversation with Tristan, I think he realized, some of the things that you brought up, that he has to be better and he wants to be better. He's pushes himself more than anybody else. And so some of the things that he had issues with, and he attacked and wanted to address and get better. And he felt like he made a lot of the improvements on that throughout the, January and February and then throughout spring football. And so I really liked his approach and what it seemed like he was trying to do and get better. And so unfortunately the injury might have set him back a little bit, but hopefully he can carry over some of that confidence of understanding, hey, that's a lot to ask for a true freshman kicker, right? I mean, to be in some of those situations. And so hopefully he, now that he's got a feel for what it's like and being in that line of fire, and then he worked on the things and realized the things that he had to do. And once he gets back healthy and gets back out there, hopefully he can pick that right back up and be better. Because I think there's nobody more than Tristan that wants to be better for this football team. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah. Well, the coach was asked, do you feel like this team is ready for camp? Some teams kind of go into camp knowing it's going to be hot, it's going to be tough. It's still a month away from the first kick. But here he talks about the readiness of this football team for this camp.
Yeah, I think probably for the guys it's a sense of relief. I think they've been highly anticipating it. I think this was a really, really hard summer. I asked Corey, I said, I don't care, just give me a tough team. That's all I care about. I don't care about anything else. And to the point that, like, when I'm in the office and they're working out, like, I went out one time. I wanted, I never went out to watch them. I wanted them to have this time with themselves. So I think probably getting to football, getting out of, boot camp and getting to football is probably exciting for them, but also relief because I know a lot of these guys, the guys that came back, they came back because they want to get to the season. Now, what we have to do now is not start looking ahead to the games. We've got to just dominate every single day. And this is one of my favorite times of the year. My favorite time of the year is probably like mat drill season, and I love this time of year. Obviously I love the games, don't get me wrong, but I just, watching these guys grow, develop, overcome adversity, it's fun.
Greg, Searles has said multiple times how much he hated this time of year before fall camp, so the July, the conditioning, and this was his least favorite part of being a football player. I was asking Bryce Benhart about that, his perspective on it, and he said, yeah, it's really hard, but I feel so good now, now that I've been through it, and it was all worth it. So it's a grind, and, a lot of the players said that it, but I think that they realized how important that month was in the month of July to be able to feel as good as they feel going into fall camp. So it is a grind, but I think a lot of them, echoing what I had said earlier, I think a lot of them feel some of the best they've ever felt. I've heard that multiple times throughout the last couple of months when I've been able to chat with these guys, and even today, best I've ever felt, and a lot of that is because of the work that they've put in really over the past 6 months since January, but especially here over these last couple of months, and being able to really get conditioned and put on the weight, and even the nutrition part of it too, and just knowing how to treat their bodies going into a fall camp. It's a tough time, but I think they realize how important it was, and now it's paying off as they feel as good as they do going into this fall camp.
To steal a line from Tony White, got to do it on the grass. Well, now they get to go do it on the grass, right? Now it's practice. It's not the weight room. It's not conditioning and just running here and there. You're actually going to be playing football, and that's what these guys really love to do. All right, last thing from Coach. I thought this was interesting. He was asked, how do you challenge Coach White and that defense? It was so good a year ago to not just be satisfied with what they did, but to be better here in 2024. Here's the coach's answer.
Well, that's a great question. I think the thing for me is looking at the things that maybe we didn't do well. Again, I think as the way you change something is you look at what you don't do well, not what you do well. Now, when I come into things like this, I might talk more about what we do well. But with the team, I'm always talking about, hey, we have to eliminate these things. And for me, the defense, we have to take the ball away 20 times this year. We have to take the ball away 20. And I'm not talking about like 5 in one game that against an inferior opponent maybe. I'm saying you got to take the ball away. We only won the turnover battle twice last year, and we throw that all on the offense. But we took the ball away 14 times, and I think 1 or 2 of those were on special teams. So I want to see us take the ball away on defense, and I want to see us eliminate the big plays. And you have to understand that, hey, when you're an attacking man-to-man style defense, people are going to do different things to you. So sometimes, like, if you have a defensive staff that's arrogant, they'll say, like, well, they just double moved us. They always have to double move us. Well, you know what? That double pass Michigan State threw that, cost us the game. I mean, so eliminating the big plays, but most importantly, taking the ball away. And again, you recreate yourself every year. No statistics from last year carry over to this year. Like I think everyone's kind of assuming, like, well, they were a top 15 defense. They'll be a top 15 defense. You buy the magazines, they say that. I mean, first of all, we should be chasing number one. We want to be the number one defense. And but Tony, to his credit, what people, I don't know if they know about Tony, is he has such humble confidence. Like, he's got an edge to him and a swagger to him, yet he's very humble. And I thought Tony did an amazing job. When Coop resigned, in that interim, staying kind of through the interview process, through hiring John, and then the work he's had to do. I mean, he had to, he's on vacation. He has to leave his family, fly back on his own dime. Hey, get John set up, start working. He's done a great job with that, and that'll be a challenge, but it'll be a good challenge because of all the things that John brings.
And I think of all people, Tony White's not satisfied, and just continuing to hear what a lot of the defensive players have said, the members of the defensive staff that I got a chance to chat with over the summer, they're not satisfied, and they are very aware of the things that they got to improve on. And takeaways are number one. I've said that a few times here over the last few weeks, that when people want to harp on the turnovers and talking about the offense, the defense, they continue to say, well, we didn't do our part either. And so I think the things that they know that they need to do better and improve on, and they're not resting any laurels on last season. They know that that's a different team, and they want to prove that they can even be better than they were last year. I think I think that Coach White would be the first to tell you, I want to be better. I want to raise the standard, and that's kind of the theme. We heard a lot about raising the standard, and hey, we aren't last year's team. We want to be better than that. So I think they're taking a hold of that, and I think they really are motivated by that very challenge.
Very good. Those are kind of the synopsises of Matt Rural's appearance with the media today. When we come back, Ed Foley, I'm going to play some clips from the Husker special teams coordinator, some about Tristan and trying to take the burden away from him now that he can't go to the start camp. What's that look like? And he's pretty optimistic that Tristan will be good in a short time. So we'll come back and hear some thoughts from Ed Foley. Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Back with some comments from today from Ed Foley next.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for. So don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.
People count on you to buckle up. Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sap Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sap Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sap Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Hy-Vee, the official grocer partner of Husker Athletics and your one-stop shop for making your life easier, healthier, and happier. Go visit your local Hy-Vee today. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Tuesday night. Husker football camp opens in about a little over 12 hours. This is when they'll be on the practice field tomorrow morning for practice number 1 as they head toward a date with UTEP on August the 31st. We heard from Matt Rural in the opening, or the last segment, about Tristan Alvano. Ed Foley, special teams coordinator, also met with the media today. He talked more about Tristan's injury and his prognosis.
I'm good. I watched him kick the other day on Monday. It was a rehab thing, so I just was watching from afar just to see, what it looked like and what his reaction was. And I got him coming off the field. I was kind of looking at it and just more from an evaluation standpoint. And he was fine. Like he's kicking. He's just not at the point where he's going to kick off right now. In terms of that kind of push. So as of right now, I'm not overly concerned.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And it's good that he's already kicking, too, I mean, if he wasn't kicking at all, you'd be a little concerned with the fact that he's kicking and Coach Foley feels confident about it. I'm confident about it.
Timing's everything, right? I mean, if this had happened last week, then I don't know that he would be ready for the season. But because it happened early summer, according to the timeline we were given, it gave him time to do a little surgical procedure and let him heal up. So timing, hopefully, is the key for that. We talked about that the NCAA have done something right. All of our football experts agree. They're allowing more assistants and analysts to have the ability to get on the field during practice and do some coaching. So you have a lot more eyeballs that are now allowed out on the field, where before it was just your 10 full-time assistants that could do the coaching. Ed Foley was asked, how's that going to help you as a special teams coordinator?
It's a big help for me, especially because, I like to segment what we're doing. It really helps a lot in meetings as much as it does on the field. So, I was segmenting that anyway, but imagine in this day and age with the attention that these kids have, I'm trying to coach all 11 in a meeting or on the field. It just doesn't work. So to be able to separate those guys and have guys that can coach. So, Garrett, for example, was taking the gunners over to another field, and he was working specifically with the gunners, the wide guys on the punt team, while I was working with the interior part of the unit. Now he can get help over there. So we can get some young coaches over there. Like Rashawn Melvin was a gunner for me in Carolina. To have him over there to be able to coach those guys over there on the gunner field is invaluable experience and teaching that can go on now for us to coach that at a higher level. Just using that as an example, and that example is across the board. So to have other guys that can coach those positions specifically, is really important. I'm going to try to operate this year as these rules come forward, and as I'm, learning more as I'm, over the years. I want to do it a little bit more like the offense and defense has done. And we're transitioning from this like punt team out there, running against the scout punt return team to now individualized drill work and individualized positions. We're going to go through tomorrow and start with separation where, one of the coaches who couldn't coach before, Josh Martin, is going to have the shield. And then, G will still have the gunners, but he'll have help over there. And then I'll have the interior with me and having guys like, Josh and Jack to be able to help coach the interior. Now we can work in stations here, have the shield here, have the gunners over there, and they're all getting a high level of coaching. I'm really excited about that. And I wanted to do more of that last year, but you're restricted by the coaching thing. But now it's going to really be something that we can take advantage of. I'm excited about it. Very excited about it.
Huge deal, and I hadn't really thought about that, but now that you get all these extra eyes and they can be on the practice field with you and they can do instructions, it probably helps Ed Foley more than anybody else because he's having to try to keep an eye on everything, that and the other full-time assistants. So this is a huge benefit of this new rule change that happened in the spring, is to help the special, and it's not just in Nebraska, everybody's going to get the same help across the country, across college football. But Ed Foley's got to be delighted. He can really break things down a lot more different ways.
Yeah, I was going to say, safe to say Ed Foley's fired up about this new rule. But, before, because of the limited coaching, a lot of the position coaches would be coming in and helping coach the special teams, right, or their guys, and it was all hands on deck. But I think now a lot of times those are some teaching moments too that you might not get because, hey, my position coach has got to go help with special teams, but now you're able to have more guys and eyes on the special teams that, if the position coach wants to step aside and have a moment with another guy during the special teams breakdowns, that you can have that. It just gives you a lot more options. We've heard it again and again. It's never a bad thing to have more guys coaching and developing a lot of players that are out there on the field.
So salute NCAA. You got something right with this little deal. Now, there was a funny moment, Jess, at the end of Ed's press session today, and I probably should have had Camden pull it, but his son last year was an analyst for Nebraska. Now his daughter is going to be doing some work, I think, in nutrition, and I think he's got like a niece or a nephew that's going to do something within the football staff. And so Matt Rule even made comment to it like, yeah, we have the entire Foley family employed. But it was a pretty funny moment, and Ed took it and laughed about it too. But he's and we've always said this about Ed. He's an infectious personality. He's just fun to listen to and fun to talk to.
Oh, he's great, and every time you see him, he's that way. It doesn't matter. It's not just the press conference setting. Every time you run into him, I mean, I've run into him at basketball games or at graduations, and that's how he is. It's infectious. You want to be around it, and he's the perfect. Is there any better personality person to coach special teams? A guy that touches so many parts of the game and is involved with so many different players. The guys love him. But, yeah, he is just a fantastic human being. Cannot say enough good things about Ed Foley, that's for sure.
Well, and an upbeat, positive personality. And for kickers, a little bit like coaching a golfer. You've got to keep them in a good mindset. I mean, it's easy to get down on yourself. If you miss a kick, it's easy to get down. If you shank a punt, it's easy to get down on yourself. So to have a guy like that you feel like kind of backing you all the time, I think is really important. So perfect guy for that spot.
Greg,
what else?
Speaking of the family ties, I also thought it was funny when Coach Rule was talking about his son Bryant that playing the video games, that if he's not doing what he's supposed to do, he's going to be the first one fired.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. I laughed out loud at that.
Yeah, the question was something about, Coach got the question about, are you worried about guys bringing their NCAA 25 with them to the dorms? And he goes, I got way more things to worry about than that. And then he kind of weaved off into his son probably would do it as well. And he goes, but once he moves into the dorm as a student here in about a month, he goes, I can't control what he does from that point on. But yeah, there were a couple lighthearted moments today in the presser that really made it fun.
But it's a family affair, right? And I think that just goes to show how this culture is, and there's multiple family ties, and it just and a lot of these guys have known the sons and daughters, and it just, a lot of them know each other's families so well, and the players of the families. It's just I think it's part of how they're building this thing, and it's really neat that now there's multiple family ties on the staff as well.
And that's hard to do with a football staff as big as they've gotten. You're talking about a staff of 60, 70 people. That's different than a basketball staff, which might be 9, 10 people, or softball, baseball staffs that aren't nearly that big, volleyball. They're not that big of staffs. But the football staff's huge, and it's getting bigger every year. I mean, All walk through the office, and I'm going, there's 10 or 15 people in here. I don't know who the heck they are, but it's just how big those staffs have gotten.
How about when the all-staff meeting, and I think it was last fall, and like, hey, stand up, and it was like half the room felt like it was football staff.
It was. I think it almost was, yeah. All right, Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Back to wrap up hour one next.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground-truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for. So don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. Final segment of hour one. Quick Olympic update. I think the highlight of today probably was the women's gymnastics team winning the gold on the team side of things. They did not win it 3 years ago in Tokyo, did in Rio in 2016. They were dominant. They won by 5 or 6 points, which is that's a dominating team win. But that was probably the highlight of the day. And good for Simone Biles. She called it the redemption tour for that group.
And they were not perfect by any means, and that just goes to show you how much better they are than everybody else. That they had a fall right on the balance beam, and it was not like they were lights out and dominated. They They just are that much better. And what's crazy too, I was talking with Cassidy, who works with us, helps me shoot my interviews. We were chatting in between, and I said, technically, Team USA could go win with three gymnasts, because Suni Lee, Jordan Giles, and Simone Biles basically could have done all 4 events, and they still would have dominated compared to everybody else having 5. It had 3 versus 5 and still would have dominated. It's unbelievable just how far ahead United States gymnastics is ahead of the rest of the world.
Let me ask you this. If you put together a second USA team, so you had USA 1 and USA 2, could USA 2 medal?
Yes, I think absolutely they could. And I even think maybe USA 3 could medal. I think they're that far ahead. I think they have that much talent. And a lot of them said that. And it's not just even the gymnastics. A lot of the track and field athletes say that too, that it's harder to even compete at the trials than it is at the actual Olympics, just because there's just so much talent in those sports. And I wouldn't be surprised, if the United States could put together 3 teams that could go compete for medals.
Now, in fairness, Russia is not part of these games. They won the gold 3 years ago, so they didn't have to compete against Russia. They've been barred by the IOC because of the war in Ukraine. So they didn't get the entire world, but they're the best. They're the number 1 team in the world. Russia might have pushed them a little bit more than what they got pushed by the Chinese and the Japanese today. Or I guess Italy finished second, their first medal in like 90 years on the team side. Those are cool things. Just kind of like the USA men hadn't medaled since 2008, so 16 years. And my goodness, you talk about an overnight star. The guy that did the pommel horse yesterday with the glasses, he's like become an overnight star.
Oh, he's huge. And what's funny is he did one event. And there's all these other superstars on the team, but he's probably the most popular guy. And he did one event.
Isn't it crazy how that works? But
yes.
It's just, there's something in, he's kind of nerdy. I mean, let's be honest, he is. And I think that's kind of his charm.
Yeah, I think he was an engineering major, and we talked about how he took off his glasses, and it looked like he could barely see. But man, it was a cool moment, and he delivered, and for them to be able to do that, it was a tight race. And USA men's gymnastics, for as good as the women have been in the world the last 2 decades, the men have not been. And so for them to be able to get on the podium just is really great. And they still have a long ways to go to be able to compete for gold, I think. And I think most people would say that China's just that far ahead, and so is Japan. But hopefully they maybe set some momentum moving forward that they can go compete, because they haven't really been in the conversation for a while. So it was a fun moment. I enjoyed that, even though you and I have talked a lot about not enjoying the men's gymnastics as much as the women's. I actually enjoyed watching that whole rotation. I thought it was thrilling, because it was close between, are they going to get there? Are they going to get on the podium? Are they going to get their medal? So even though it wasn't for gold, it was still a fun storyline to follow.
Oh, the joy in their face was really intoxicating to see how excited they were to get a medal. And so they knew that it had been 16 years since the U.S. had taken home a medal in the team competition for the men. What do we got to do to get Casey on the court, Jess? My goodness, they're not playing him at all.
I don't know. I'm disappointed. They need him. They need a spark. Call on him. Come on, let him go shoot some threes. You want to ignite an arena, start a run. It's Keisei Tominaga. Who does it better?
They got one game left, and then their Olympics are going to be over. He got in the last 30 seconds of overtime today, but that was it. Hour 1 in the books. Come on back for hour 2.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy, from repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail, or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. the official foundation company of the Huskers.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Shop Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair and Bellevue during the Make This the Summer event going on right now. Browse our full lineup of SUVs, like the confident and spacious new Jeep Grand Cherokee L with third-row seating, offering plenty of room for the entire family on your summer adventures. Visit one of our 2 convenient locations in Blair or Bellevue, or start your car buying journey online at WoodhouseCDJRBellevue.com or WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com today. Serving our customers since 1991, this is Woodhouse.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and this is our Sports Ticker. Earlier today, Nebraska offensive tackle Bryce Benhart was named to the 2024 Outland Trophy Award watch list. Benhart is on the watch list for the first time in his career after earning all Big Ten honors from both the coaches and media last season. Plenty of Olympics news and notes for today. Let's start with news concerning Huskers. Husker track and field star Till Steinforth will compete for Germany in the decathlon starting on August 2nd. Steinforth was originally an alternate. Jack McVeigh turned in a solid performance in Australia's 93-83 loss to Canada today. McVeigh had 9 points on 3 of 6 shooting, including 3 for 5 from three-point range in just under 15 minutes. The U.S. men's soccer team defeated Guinea 3-0. They advanced to the quarterfinals for the first time since 2000 and will take on Morocco Friday. In women's gymnastics, the USA won gold as a team. The individual events will take place on Thursday, where Simone Biles and Suni Lee will take part in the all-around. And to close it out, the U.S. women's rugby team earned a bronze medal today after defeating Australia 14-12. It's the first medal ever for the U.S. in women's rugby. One Major League Baseball game of note tonight as the Dodgers visit the Padres. Former Husker Matt Waldron gets the start on the mound for San Diego. First pitch is slated for 8:30 Central. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Heinrich going to step in back, little G-belly action. There's a man wide open. It's Jalen Lloyd. The throw, he makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Nebraska serving specialist. Kennedy sends it over Vasquez Gomez. Perfect pass, set it up. Fairbanks diving, take Laney Choboy. Bumps it left Nebraska. Harper, and nearly drops. Free ball back. Oh, a block back by Becca, and that nearly drops. And a free ball finally over, block back by Becca, and it does. Becca Alec, she's putting on a blocking clinic. They can't get it over.
Bryce Williams puts his head down, cut off by good defense by Mbako. Now up top it comes to Mast. Mast dribbles once, gives it back to Williams, shoots a 3 on the way. Got it again! Another 3. Williams on fire.
Jazz Shelley, who has electrified this crowd. She'll take a 28-footer. You betcha! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She ends the first quarter in triple style.
Ball's at a strike here on Gabe Swanson, the pitch. Hit pretty well towards left center field. Going back on it is Graves. Graves at the wall, and it's gone again! Swanson's gone deep again! Gabe with his second solo shot of the game.
Billy swings and crushes this one to the moon. Left center and gone. No doubt on that one. 3-1 Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
And we're back for hour number 2. Sports Nightly here on a Tuesday night on the eve of football camp getting going. Soccer practice was going on today. I passed a couple of our soccer players walking around Memorial Stadium today. They have an exhibition game next Monday night at Hibner against Kansas City. They will then later in the week travel to Norman for an exhibition game with Oklahoma. And then their season starts on the 15th with Oklahoma State visiting Hibner Stadium. So soccer underway. Volleyball does not get their practices underway till next Monday. And Monday, Tuesday is volleyball media days for the Big Ten in Chicago. The Huskers will have a couple of representatives there on Tuesday. Love it. We're getting this thing all cranked up. Going to hear from offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield and defensive coordinator Tony White coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Also later in the hour, Javin Wright, who really started to come into his own late last season, that linebacker spot. Just got a chance to catch up with him today. We'll have that conversation for you later on as well. And want to hear your thoughts, 402-413-2400. The number to be with a call or a text. Mike from Grand Island on our text line said because special teams, we had Ed Foley on last hour, is only on the field for only a handful of plays in a game. They've got to be efficient. You're exactly right, Mike. I mean, those plays are the hidden plays in football. Do you pick up field position in a punt? Do you pick up field position in a good return or limiting a good return? All those things add up. Ed Foley's well aware of that, and I think you saw improvement last year for the Huskers under Foley in year one. I think you'll see more of that coming up in year number 2. One thing we certainly saw last year was really good development on the defensive side of the football. Tony White today was asked, how do you improve on that now in year 2?
Yeah, a lot of it comes back to, who you're around. And the one thing that Coach Rule does is he's always looking for an advantage. So going back and looking at the things that we need to work on was first and foremost, like taking the ball away, being better on third downs, getting some guys matched up better in the secondary. But also, I was fortunate to be around some really good defensive coaches as well, and they every year it's a new team, it's a new attitude. So you go into it like the first year, you know what I mean? And so the very first message yesterday we got together as a D staff was, this group hasn't done anything. I haven't done anything. I'm gonna approach it like that. We're gonna move forward that way, and we got a lot to prove, and put that chip on our shoulder and let's roll.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what I was alluding to earlier, that, hey, Tony White's not satisfied either, and he wants to be better too. But I also, we talked about Ed Foley last couple of segments about how great it is to listen to him. I love listening to Tony White too. I think he's just, I've said it time and time again, that's a head coach in waiting, but it's great to listen to him, and I think there's a reason why he is where he's at, and the guys buy into it, and they have completely bought into his message too, and they're echoing a lot of things that he's saying. I'm hearing them say in interviews, so that's always a good sign.
Start to the top. Matt Rule said a lot of the same thing we just heard from Tony. You're hearing it from the players. You're right. That's a good sign of that. All right. It's been a wild month for Tony White because of Evan Cooper's resignation at the end of June, hiring a new coach in John Butler, trying to get a new coach up to speed in about 30 days. What kind of challenge has that been for the Husker DC?
Yeah, everybody's different. And the one thing that he said, good coaches are good teachers. So they're able to absorb information, and then they're able to put it in different buckets, and then be able to get their guys to play. And so the first thing you know about John is, when we were talking defense, he was just putting it in buckets. And again, that goes back to the experience. Oh, it's just like this, no problem. It's just like this. It's just like this. So really made us all feel comfortable about the way he's going to teach, and really it just comes down to terminology. This is how we say it here. This is how he was used to saying it, and one of the first things he did was say, hey, instead of having 30 plus guys, 40 plus guys learn his wording and how he used to say things, like, I need to learn the way we do it here. And so again, you got a guy who knows a lot, but he's humble to the point of like, hey, let me see, let me hear, let me do how we do things here, how we can advance the guys here and roll. So it's it's really neat to be around him, his thoughts, but he's always keeping it of how we do things here.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Good to hear there. I also took note when he was talking to you the other day about when he got Coach Butler in here, he wanted to learn from him. He's taking notes and just all the knowledge. And again, that speaks to a great leader, that he wants to continue to learn from whoever he's around, and however he can continue to improve and do things how they need to be done to be at the best level. And so, but then also to hear Coach Butler's like, hey, yeah, I have all this knowledge, but how do we do things? What's the best way for me to be able to come in and get acclimated to how we do things? That was a great thing to hear there.
Sure was. Jess, one of the latest additions to this roster is Sierra Wright, a transfer that Nebraska got about a month ago from USC, talented defensive back, but as Coach White says, he's got to get assimilated to how we do things here.
Yeah, extremely talented. I mean, you watch him just naturally, and you can see why he was one of the top recruits in the country, period. He's very athletic, very fluid in his hips. He's pretty smart as well. So, again, it's just, you're trained a certain way at a different institution, and then you come over here and you realize things are vastly different. The standards are just different, and the way we do things on defense are just different than the way he was used to doing things. So that's our responsibility, to make sure that he understands that he's always held to that standard, and that he's putting it on the grass. Again, a lot of guys talk about it, but you know, it's hard to not be a man of action when you're when you're around Corey, when you're around Kristen, when you're around, especially now Coach Butler, myself, you know, all the guys in the locker room, GIF. So he's a guy who we're counting on to make sure he knows what to do, how to do it, and then let him go and compete.
You know, Greg, I saw that on my social media. I think some people were saying that that was a shot at USC because USC did not play good defense. It was more so overall just the standard. And I mean, we've heard that from every transfer that comes in. They just have to learn a different way of doing things. It's just they have high standards. They expect certain things, and they're, you know, even just going to eat together all the time and breaking bread together. There are just certain things that are done here that are just not done the same way at other programs, that guys that transfer in have to learn how to do it, and how the standards are here, and just the different things that go into what's expected. And I don't think that by any means was a shot as people were taking it, but certainly it is a little bit of a different expectations from where he came from before, because everywhere is different. I mean, it is different here than it is anywhere else, and every transfer that comes in here says that, you know, that it's a learning process to figure out how things are done here.
I'm with you. I mean, remember Makuza from Florida, they were saying the same things about him in early February. He's got to figure out how we do things, and so it is an adjustment. Anytime you jump to a different program in college sports, they're going to do different things. I mean, that's just the way it is. And so he's only been here a couple of weeks. He's got a new defensive backs coach now that he's going to be dealing with in John Butler. So there's a lot of change for Sear. So I'm with you. I didn't think that was a shot at USC. It's just like, yeah, he's got to figure out how we do things around here, and he'll be fine once he gets that figured out. All right, Marcus Satterfield, who we talked to last time on the program, and we focused mostly on tight ends with him. A couple of questions about the offense coming out of spring, but he was asked about, you talk about a lot of depth at wide receiver, a lot of depth at offensive line, a lot of depth in the running backs room. And he said that's probably the biggest difference for him from last year to this year is how many more able bodies he now has to work with.
That's amazing. The depth that we've you know, last year when we were going through it, it was not a lot of fun when all those freshmen were having to play receiver. And I think the depth that we have now because of that is awesome, and it's a superpower for us because competition is everything in our program. So, I mean, you could go out there this week and be a 1 and look up next week and be a 3 if you're not performing at the standard that we're asking for. And I think the same with the O-line. We got some older guys that have played a lot of football there, but there's still just the depth that we have that we've developed in the last 2 years of. I'm looking at Coach's coffee right here. I don't know, it got me distracted. The depth that we've developed there has been really good.
Yeah, I think, you know, and then you also feel really good about, because you're looking around at those freshmen like, uh-oh, but then they were able to really get some great experience, maybe even more so ahead of what you even expected of them going into this year. So that continues to add to the things that you can do and build around in an offense. But I mean, I'll keep saying it, that wide receiver room, I think I've got such a great feeling about it. I think it could be a really, really special group.
Totally with you. And, you know, they've raved about the running backs room for months about how deep they think that is. That offensive line is a veteran group. All those things can help young quarterbacks kind of work their way into this thing. Well, last year, and we've talked a lot about it here in the offseason, is the turnover issue. It came up again today to Coach Satterfield. How do you go about working on it here in August so that you don't repeat the mistakes made last year?
I think obviously you all, we, the citizens of Nebraska know you can't turn the ball over. And I think that you can talk about that. But I think once our guys globally, coaches, players, everything, look back and know like how different the season could have been last year if we just hold on to the football and don't turn the ball over. I think they know how critical that is. And I think that there's, you know, starting last spring, you know, just the emphasis of taking care of the football. Like if we have to just take a knee 3 times and punt the ball, but we don't turn it over, we'll do that, right? We're not going to turn the ball over anymore. And they know if you turn the ball over, you're not going to play. And I think just talking about the depth that we've developed on offense, we're at a point now where if you do turn the ball over, you're coming out of the game. And, you know, whether you get out there or not again that's you know, yet to be seen.
I think to add to that, too, is, you know, just when I was chatting with Teddy Prohaska today, he said how, you know, this team has gotten closer and how they can hold each other accountable. And I asked him about that specifically, about the turnover. He's like, you know, we've gotten to a point now where we're so close and we want to want to be better and we want to hold each other accountable. So if we're seeing guys not holding the ball right, we're going to call them out on it. And we all know that, hey, when we're challenging each other, it's coming from a place of love because we all want to be better and we all understand that. So I think too, it's not just the coaches saying it. Now the players are really taking a hold of it and holding each other accountable if they're seeing guys not do some of the things right. And maybe that was an improvement from the past. I don't know, but it just seems like that's different to where, hey, it's at a whole new level because they realize just the magnitude of how completely different things could have been had they had just 3 or 4 less turnovers last season. And so I think that's been something that they're able to hold each other accountable, even from a team standpoint, a player standpoint, even beyond just the coaches harping on it.
It's pretty strong words from Sat. I mean, talking about you turn it over, you're coming out of the game. And I think you almost have to kind of get to that point. And they feel like they've got adequate backups or other people that can come in and do an equally good job, that if you do make a mistake, you're going to come over and stand on the sideline next to the coaches. And I think you kind of have to start putting that mindset in place so that thing can get fixed. I think it will be much, much better this year. I think from both ends, Jess. I think the offense won't turn it over as much, and I think the defense is going to cause more turnovers. That's my bold prediction for the year right there.
I agree. I'm with you. I think both, just with hearing the conviction that both sides have and just the hearing about it now since last season and understanding just how different a season can be when you do one or the other. And it's both sides really, really making an emphasis on that turnover margin. That is for dang sure.
Yeah. Folks, if problem gambling is burning up your money, there's a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. There's no judgment, just help. Go visit lifeafterbet.com. All right, when we come back, Jessica had a chance earlier today to talk to Javin Wright. He's a legacy player. Dad played for the Cornhuskers in the early 90s. And boy, toward the end of last year, he was one of Nebraska's top defenders. Looking forward to hearing this conversation. We'll do that next.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. the official foundation company of the Huskers.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already. The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
At Woodhouse Chevy, we believe in the power of performance. Whether it's an adventure with the family or tackling the toughest jobs, Woodhouse Chevy has you covered. Woodhouse Chevy offers many models to choose from, and amazing features like wireless Apple CarPlay, lane keep assist with lane departure warning, front pedestrian braking, and so much more. Woodhouse Chevy brings you 2 convenient locations in Omaha and Missouri Valley. Together, let's drive with Woodhouse Chevy.
Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They're the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. Tuesday night, media day today for Husker football. They moved into the dorms this afternoon. First practice is tomorrow. We won't hear from anybody until after practice 3, which is on Friday. So it's a pretty good little chunk of fall camp by the time we hear from them. Again, they made a lot of players available today. They did not bring the 3 that went to Indianapolis last week. They're pretty talked out after going through that car wash last week at Big Ten Media Days. But Javin Wright was one of the ones that was in attendance today. The linebacker for the Cornhuskers made great strides toward the end of the 2024 season, and he sat down with Jessica.
Well, how does it feel? You guys are about to take the field for fall camp.
I'm excited, man. Let's get it started. I've been waiting for this day for a long time, ever since the season ended, probably after spring ball ended too, so I've been waiting.
How do you feel? It's been a year now that you've been at that linebacker spot. How do you feel differently going into this fall camp?
I feel a lot more experienced. I feel like I can go out there and just be myself. I'm not really nervous anymore. I've been through it, so just going out there and play with my brothers it's not new anymore, so it's going to be fun.
Coach Dvorak just raved about what you brought to the linebacker room. What were some of the biggest things that you had to learn playing that position coming from DB?
Man, I had to learn how to take on blocks, how to do all like the roughneck stuff. Like I had to be tougher than most DBs do. So it was easier for me just because I was always doing it. I've always been doing it, but I had to do it consistently, and I learned that going into this year, and with my weight like a little bit more, I have a little bit more weight on me. It's a lot easier, and I'm a lot stronger. So.
Why do you feel like this position suits you better?
My length, my height, and my strength. My speed helps a lot too. So it's kind of like it was meant for me. Like this linebacker spot, like I've grown into a linebacker that they need and that they want, and I'm excited for this season.
Coach Dvorak, how big has he been in your development and understanding the position?
He's a very good coach. He's very understanding. So when I come with questions or I come with different things to him, he'd be sitting me down and giving me a good examples and good everything for me to understand and go out there and play ball.
What was the process for you? You talked a lot about putting on the weight and getting bigger and stronger. What was that process like for you? Was it tough? Was it just a grind, or how did you go about tackling it?
It was definitely tough. So I already lift a lot. I already eat a lot. It's just the way I did it. I had to change my whole schedule for eating and stuff like that. I had to eat a lot more, but I had to eat differently. So it was basically just the eating stuff for me. And lifting-wise, I was perfectly fine, but other than that, I just changed my schedule, and I got to where I needed to get to.
No Luke, no Nick, who've been big leaders for this defense. Right. But again, this room, you guys have talked a lot about just the leadership role that you guys have taken on, you and John and Makai. What's that process been like for you? It's a natural leadership position, but stepping into more of a leadership role for this defense too.
I'm an older guy, so I know the ropes and I know what everything that needs to be done. So just being more vocal and being an example and a pillar of strength for the younger guys and the people in my room, and just being the guy that the oldest guy in the room, and being like the best one, being the strongest, being a pillar of strength, like I said, for the younger guys. And I stepped in and I inherited the role. Yeah.
How do you feel about the group overall going into this fall camp with the progress you guys have been able to make over the last few months? I think the linebacker room right now is definitely better than the last one, because this offseason we've really focused on strength and a bunch of other stuff. So I'm glad that we had that offseason and we focused on the stuff that we needed to focus on. We were really deliberate in what we needed to do. So this fall camp we should kind of expose what we've been doing. You made some huge plays for this defense a year ago. How much confidence are you taking into this year to take another step and be able to provide some of those big plays again?
Man, I took a huge step, man. Manifesting and doing, I believe I'm going to do that every game and help this defense be the best defense in the country.
How do you guys raise the standard? We've heard a lot about that, about, being better than what you were last year, but you want to be better than that. How do you guys raise the standard?
We're going to focus on the details and chase three. Like, we couldn't finish games most of the time. And obviously it showed, but chasing three, which means finishing strong, starting fast, and doing all the details right, and what Coach Rules has been preaching. And so if we do all of that, we're gonna become better, and we're gonna see the results.
How special is it going into this year with a lot of guys like yourself that have been here and are invested in this program? Isaac Gifford came back, Ty Robinson, Nash, a lot of guys that have played a lot of football together. How special is that going into this season, knowing that a lot of you guys have been through a lot together?
Oh, yeah, we've definitely been through a lot together, especially with all the stuff going to happen at Nebraska. But that chemistry and all the adversity that we went through, that chemistry is definitely there. So when you get on the field, it's kind of natural to play with them and to communicate with them, to just play football with them.
Okay, so take us through fall camp. How do you guys take it day by day and get accomplished what needs to get accomplished?
Yeah, the only way you can is to take it day by day, because it's a lot, especially with Coach Rule's staff and everything. It's a lot to take in if you just look at the big picture. You just got to take it chunk by chunk and just focus on the details an hour by hour every day.
You just overall as a group, how does it feel different going into the season year 2 with this staff and what you guys did a year ago? But how is it different than where you were a year ago at this time?
Last year, I think we were like a deer in headlights because we were just all surprised. It was crazy. But I think this year, everything's like calmed down. All the players know what's expected, and we're just going in there. We're just going to try to attack everything we can.
Moving into the dorms, how excited are you?
I'm excited, but it's an experience. For my last year, I'm glad that we kind of did it just because of the experience and everything that's going to happen. It's like a camp where we're just trying to better ourselves, so to eliminate distractions and being in the dorms, you got to change your perspective, and it'll help us in the long run.
Awesome. Last thing, what are your goals starting tomorrow through the next 4 weeks?
I mean, this whole off season, I've been grinding, just getting bigger and doing everything. I'm just trying to be the best linebacker I could possibly be and make as many plays for this defense as I possibly can. So, like a couple picks, several tackles, just doing the best I can to do what I can for this defense.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I love talking to Javin. You mentioned it, Greg, and then he talked a little bit about it, but there were some times he made some just massive plays for this defense, but was probably not fully comfortable there in the position that he was able or being asked to play, but I think he's really settled into it. He's embraced it. He understands, what he can bring to it. And Coach Dvorak, when I chatted with him, just really went on and on about the job that he's done, and he's physical. He's not afraid to be physical, and so just learning the intricacies of playing inside linebacker, you could just see the confidence, how much more confident he is, and I think he's going to be a big piece, and certainly another guy that Tony White can build some special things around, because he made some big-time plays last year.
Well, he can cover about anybody coming out. He can cover tight ends. He can cover backs because of his defensive back skills that he's had all of his life. And he's gotten big enough now that he can take on those offensive linemen on a stretch play in the run game. And so he can do those two things. And so, I think he's a guy that they'll count on to make some big plays for this defense. Loved his attitude, loved his energy. You could tell that he's ready to get going with this season. And I think that's kind of, and you talked to a bunch of them today, I think that kind of permeates throughout most of the team. They are ready to get this thing going.
Yeah, and he's another guy you could tell is bigger. I mean, he alluded to it multiple times, how he feels stronger. He feels like he's now in the frame that he needs to be able to play that position. But he certainly looks the part. A lot of those guys did. I mean, Emmett Johnson, we heard EJ talking about him the other night, and it is just evident, especially when you haven't seen him in a while, and then you see him like, whoa, okay, you put in some work over the last few months. So, I think a lot of them just feel differently in terms of just where they're at physically, and a lot more confident, and then just now knowing the expectations. I thought it was funny when he said, I think we were all deer in headlights going into this thing a year ago, but now we know how to tackle this thing, and they've embraced that day by day mentality. And it sounds so cliche, I know, but they have bought into that, and they're ready to take it one day at a time and do what they have to do by each day. Going back to what Coach Rule said in his press conference today, I mean, there are guys here now that, we just we don't want to be the reason we lose, and I think that's how he said it, but we want to win. It's just a different mindset now, and I think it really has, like you said, permeated throughout this entire football team. It feels like a different confidence, a different mindset. I mean, they just have a different belief, I guess. And it's talking season, and as Tony White said, they got to do it on the grass, but it doesn't. Just the way that they're carrying themselves, how they're answering some of the questions, it has felt different to me, certainly.
He made the comment during the headlights. I was thinking back. At no point did I feel like that defense was deer in the headlights.
No.
I mean, even you go back to game one with Minnesota, they played certainly well enough for the Huskers to win that game. That was the first game out of the gates. Now, I know Colorado put some scores on them late in the game in Boulder in week 2, but at no point did I feel like that defense was in over their head. And so in some ways, it's kind of scary to think if they have settled into this defense even more, how much more room there is for them to grow. Maybe they're not just a top 15 defense. Maybe they're a top 10 defense coming this year.
Yeah, and I remember last year asking about what's this defense like, and they were all kind of saying it's chaos, and I think that's how they felt when they were learning it. It was chaotic, but now it's slowed down so much that I don't know if they would describe it that way. You know what I mean? I mean, it is. There's a lot of moving parts, and a lot of people probably would say it looks chaotic, but I don't think it feels chaotic anymore. And I think they've, as fast as they moved at the beginning, I think that's where he was talking about maybe during the headlights, because it was so fast and they moved so fast, and there were so many. Think about all the different players that they played too, and different roles. And so I think another year under the belt of this coaching staff and with Tony White, I think no more deer in the headlight. They absolutely know what to expect. And he also said this too, and I feel like a lot of the guys have too. Now they're making sure that those younger players, some of those young defensive backs too, and even a guy like Vincent Schaefer's, who's a young guy, making sure that they understand, and so that it's not deer in the headlights for those young freshmen either, that they want to make sure that they are passing along the knowledge and making sure that everybody is on the same page and they know what to expect going into it, so that everybody can be at their best.
Good stuff right there. Folks, Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. All right, if you have a comment, question, 402-413-2400. We're back with more of the show coming up.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you can use that money towards going to see your favorite team in the playoffs. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can go see your favorite team in the playoffs. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but we cannot guarantee that your favorite team will make the playoffs or even finish with a winning record. They could easily lose more than half their games and finish in the cellar because they stink badly and haven't made the playoffs in years. Savings? Very possible. Playoffs? Highly doubtful. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates, not available in all states. We cannot be held liable for your favorite team's terrible and frankly embarrassing performances now or ever.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already. The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for. So don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska. Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Ford SUV season sales event is here at Woodhouse Ford, and it's the perfect time to find a new Ford SUV for all your summer adventures. Woodhouse Ford offers many models to choose from and amazing features like the Ford Co-Pilot 360, Ford Blue Cruise, Sync 4 infotainment system with Apple CarPlay, and so much more. Go and visit Woodhouse Ford at any one of our 3 convenient locations in Omaha, Blair, and Plattsmouth.
Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Get signed up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Go score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Hy-Vee, the official grocery partner of Husker Athletics and your one-stop shop for making your life easier, healthier, and happier. Go visit your local Hy-Vee today. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Tuesday night. Doug in Norfolk on our text line said that they've gotten rid of divisions in the Big Ten. So if two teams tie at 8-1 for, say, second place, they didn't play each other, how do they decide who plays in the Big Ten title game? Well, there are tiebreaker procedures. They'll probably go common opponents. And if you're still tied after that, they'll probably go, did you lose? They'll go down the standings. Who was your loss against? And the team with the, say, the best loss gets the nod over the team that got maybe upset by somebody else. But there are tiebreaker proceedings, Doug, and I fully expect that to have to go into effect. I think you're going to have multiple years where you will have a tie either for first or for second to get into the Big Ten title game. I just think that's the odds when you have 18 teams in a league. Jessica, I do want to mention, Camden had this in the ticker. Till Steinforth is headed to the Olympic Games. He will compete for Germany in the decathlon starting on Friday. He was an alternate for their team. Apparently, one of the guys ahead of him has gotten hurt, can't compete. How about that? I love it for Till. That's incredible for Till to be going off to the games.
Oh, that's great. You know, I remember chatting with him last year, and he was saying that it was going to be difficult just because that's what Germany does. They're really great in the multi, so he wasn't sure how it would all shake out. But, hey, you never know. And, you know, he was thinking maybe it'd be the next Olympics that he'd really have a shot at. But, hey, here he is. He's going to get a chance at it, and I can't wait. There's a lot of Huskers. I am excited. I was watching with the opening ceremonies a little bit of it and fast forward through all of it. When I saw the Bahamas, I was looking for Rima, and, you know, there's a lot of Huskers on track and field events, especially as you've talked a lot about the field events that we're going to be able to see. So it's exciting. I love that.
I don't know that Rima was there for the opening ceremony. Social put out a post of her getting on a plane and stuff, and I think that dropped on Monday. I think she might have gone later because track doesn't start till the end of the week. So maybe she might not have been over in Paris for the start of the games. But glad she's over there now competing for the Bahamas. You've got 15 Husker athletes now with Till being added to the mix. Makes it pretty exciting. Volleyball is back on the court tomorrow. They've got a pretty big match after losing the other day. They need to come back and get a win. Won't be easy. They're playing a really good team tomorrow. But we'll keep following all that. We've been following the men's side with Jack McVeigh, who had a nice game today. And poor Keisei has not gotten much court time for Japan. They're now 0-2 and probably not going to make it out of the pool play. So that means Japan has just one more game left. I think they're missing the boat on that, and I'm biased, but that team, to me, particularly in their game one, Japan needed a spark. Keisei is the kind of guy that can come in and do that for you.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. The Japan coach needs to call up anybody here in Husker Nation. We'll let them know. Put Keisei in. But a lot of people have been tuning in. He's got a lot of fans around here that have been waiting patiently to see if he was going to provide some of those electrifying moments, but he has not got his opportunity. I don't know, obviously, how the Team Japan works, but I would imagine maybe, too, because he wasn't with the team as long, because he was here playing college basketball, and then maybe he's one of the younger guys. Maybe it's going to take a minute for him to really establish his role, but, hey, give him a shot. There's not a better shooter, I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. He's the Steph Curry of Japanese basketball. Come on.
Yeah.
The current medal count, the United States with 26, France with 18, but the United States only has 4 golds. Of their 26 medals, 11 silver, 11 bronze, just the 4 golds, and that includes the women's gymnastics team, which won the team title today and got a gold. So Team USA doing okay, but not cashing a lot of gold medals yet. I do know that that'll probably pick up when we get to track and field, where the U.S. is pretty dominant on the track in a lot of events. But, just the golds have been slow to come for Team USA, but they do lead the overall medal count over the home team in France, 26-18. I have really liked the way NBC has covered this, Jess. I mean, they used to embargo a lot of this stuff and save it all for their primetime coverage. But if you have the ability to watch some during the day, you're seeing an awful lot of events live and don't have to wait to see it with your own eyes, at least at night. I like that.
Yeah, I was telling you that the other day about I like that, with the Peacock streaming and the difference of the time, it's not so bad where it's not completely unwatchable. You're watching at 11:15 noon, the women's gymnastics, and then I've been able to watch a lot of the swimming during the middle of the day. And, yeah, they're just presenting it as, hey, here's our primetime coverage, even though it's in the middle of the day. But they've still, I don't know, I haven't seen any ratings yet come out, but I got to imagine they're still getting pretty good numbers. And the fact that everything is streaming on Peacock, and I would imagine their subscription numbers have gone up, because if you're a fan of any Olympic sport, you can watch it, and there's multiple ways to watch it, and I know they're doing different kind of channels and having different hosts on there, and so they've definitely done a good job. They've poured a lot of money into it, that's for sure. But I've really enjoyed the coverage, and I like that you can just stick with one stream if you want to watch that, or if you want to watch Tirico and basically the primetime coverage, how they're approaching it. But yeah, I think they've done a good job, and I like that you don't have to wait till at night. When we're on the show, we'd be missing it right now. We'd have to go back and DVR it. So I like that we're able to watch it at all times during the day.
I don't know when Tirico sleeps because he's on during the day, and then I see him in the primetime coverage. I'm like, when's this guy sleep? I mean, is he just there the entire time? But folks, remember on Peacock, it's a very good price, and that's the Big Ten streaming service is Peacock as well. Probably going to have a football game on Peacock. We did last year, and a lot of basketball games are on Peacock with the Big Ten, the new TV deal. So if you're on the fence whether to get it, I would encourage you to do it for the Olympics and then keep it for the upcoming football and basketball seasons for the Huskers, because they are one of the TV partners now for the Big Ten is Peacock. And I'm with you. I think they've done a good job. But I do want to know when Tirico sleeps. I'm worried about the guy.
He does a great job, though.
He's good.
I haven't seen much of Maria Taylor, but I also haven't been watching at night, so I've only been watching during the day.
No, that's a good point. I don't know. Is she part of the Peacock coverage or not?
I don't think so. I would imagine she's probably on the primetime, but also she's a big part of the football coverage. I don't know. Maybe she's not doing as much Olympics this year.
Could be. Folks, Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Go visit us online at woodhouse.com. Back to wrap up tonight's show. We'll do that next.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. You're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
Experience luxury car buying like never before with Genesis of Southwest Omaha. Browse our full range of SUVs that combine power and versatility, like the 2024 Genesis GV80, packed with an array of safety and tech features that ensures confidence and comfort on every journey. Or explore our lineup of exceptional sedans that offer unparalleled elegance and sophistication. Get started online at southwestomahagenesis.com and shop our current offers happening right now, or visit our showroom at Village Point today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground-truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Well, the Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs. They're the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. Final few minutes of Sports Alley here on a Tuesday night. Tomorrow night, we will hear from quarterbacks coach Glenn Thomas. Looking forward to sitting down with Coach to talk about his first full year on staff for the Cornhuskers and the opportunity now to work with 3 scholarship quarterbacks, and Dylan Raiola, Danny Kalin, and also Heinrich Harburg. Coach Rural was asked about Heinrich and just said he's in great shape, Jess. Goes, Heinrich is really one of our better athletes. He goes, what I want to see from Heinrich is just a better understanding of the offense and get the completion percentage up a little bit, but he really raved about Heinrich and that athletic ability that he brings to the table. And I think we all saw that at times last year.
Yeah, I got to think maybe there's potential. I don't know if you want to do it now because you need a veteran in the room, but maybe there's a chance that they try some different things with him to get him the ball, because he was electrifying at times with the ball in his hands. And even at Minnesota, he caught a pass, so maybe they find some ways to get him involved if he doesn't win the job. But I think Coach Rule went on and about, he's been one of the elite guys. He's been a black shirt. He just has been a great leader. And I think he's embracing, too, being the older guy in the room and helping the two freshmen along. And but, yeah, I think Coach Rule mentioned this. I don't know when it was, but he said they've all earned the chance and deserve a shot to go compete for it. And no doubt Heinrich Hardberg has done what he's needed to do to be able to have that opportunity.
All right, best guess when we get the first single-digit numbers. Early next week, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe at the end of next week.
Yeah. How about the end of the practice Saturday night? The Big Red preview.
Oh, I don't know.
Could they do
maybe.
it then?
Maybe. I don't know if they will have had enough time to really take in practice.
Yeah, that's a good point. They might vote for like Sunday night, some of their Sunday night meetings or something, and then come out with some of those. Last year they did it in waves. It came like in 3s and 4s. But I'm anxious to see those. I'm anxious to see if the guys who had them a year ago keep them, and then obviously who are the newbies who pick up those numbers. That was fascinating to me as that unfolded last spring. Last fall. It really added to me a lot of intrigue to camp.
Yeah, it did. And, there's quite a few. There's a number of guys that are coming back that have the single digits already that you think they'd keep, but there's quite a few open, and so it's going to be fun to see. I think we've got a few of them penciled in that I think are pretty much shoo-ins, but who knows? There might be a dark horse emerge that really shines during camp and that ends up, because I've said this before, but I was talking with the staff member last year that said at the beginning of camp after the first vote, it changed from the first vote to the last vote. And so some guys came in and really earned that single digit throughout fall camp and maybe caught some attention or changed some votes, changed the eyes of some of the guys. So maybe that could happen too, where at the start we think we know how it's going to go, but then by the end it's changed up a little bit because some guys have really stepped up over the course of fall camp.
Mark on our text line said multiple times this year he has seen Peacock for $20 a year.
Wow.
So they offer those deals. He said, that's really cheap. You're right. And he also said he has seen Maria Taylor mostly late night. So did they come back after the local news and do some wrap-up shows? They must. I go to bed by the time the local news hits, but she might be the anchor of their late night coverage, and you're more of a night owl than I am. I'm surprised you haven't seen her.
Yeah, but I think because of the way that it is, and then on social media, I have not watched. I used to be, hey, I'm going to watch on primetime and I'll get all the coverage, but I have not watched any of the primetime coverage because I've been able to watch most of what I want to see during the day. So I have not tuned in to see any of that before or after the news.
Yeah, I'm done by the end of that. When they go to the local news at 10. Get Glenn Thomas tomorrow night. We'll talk quarterbacks, get his take about this group as we head into camp. We'll also hear from some more of the players that Jessica had a chance to talk to today. Looking forward to that tomorrow night on the program as we make our way through tomorrow's the last day of the month. Are you kidding me? It's July 31st tomorrow? My goodness. I'm blown away by where July went. Crazy stuff. All right, thanks to Camden for steering the ship for us tonight. To all of you for listening. We put Camden to work today. A lot of clip-ups of the press conference from earlier today. He did a fantastic job with that. You all have a great night. Back with you again tomorrow. We'll do it again for 2 hours. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy, from repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you.